Welcome back to In Focus. Representatives from the African Union were recently here in Washington to brief the members of the U.S. Congress on the Comprehensive Africa Agricultural Development Program. VOA's Carolyn Turner has more.
More than 1 billion people, nearly 1/6 of the world's population, suffer from chronic hunger. Millions of children die from malnutrition each year. This crisis has devastating and far-reaching effects. Last year's G8 and G20 summits established an action plan to improve food security. Known as the Rome Principles for Sustainable Food Security, the plan was endorsed by 193 countries. President Obama's pledge of $3.5 billion for agricultural development adds to more than $18 billion from other donors. Last week, at the United Nations, the president reaffirmed America's commitment.
As president, I have made it clear that the United States will do our part. Progress towards other goals that were set has not come nearly fast enough. Not for the millions of children who die from the agony of malnutrition. Not for the nearly 1 billion people who endure the misery of chronic hunger. Governments and multilaterals and NGOs are all working together. We each do the piece that we do best, as we're doing, for example, in support of Ghana's food security plan, which will help more farmers get more goods to market and earn more money to support their families.
Ghana is an example of the United States' change in policy. Rather than emergency aid, the U.S. is helping countries produce more of their own food. The program is called Feed the Future, a response to the Millennium Development Goal to cut poverty and hunger in half by 2015. USAID implements the program. African Union representatives were in Washington to brief Congress. AU official Richard Mukandawire says governments have huge responsibilities to attract investment.
Governments have responsibilities to generate certain public goods, infrastructure development, bridges, making sure that the tax system is actually attractive for private investors who want to go into the agriculture sector, making sure that there are incentives for young people who would like to go into the agriculture sector, making sure that there's security of tenure in terms of land, and many, many other reforms that are required.
Mukandawire says Africa depends on U.S. and international support.
In terms of financing, but more than that, I think there's increased support from the international community as well, including the U.S. government, which has been one of our major partners, alongside, of course, multilateral agencies, as well as some of the G8 countries.
Estherine Lizing Votabang, director of NEPED of the African Union, says the AU's biggest achievement is policy development for agriculture and education.
I think all the 22 countries have done the country process. 18 have done investment plan, but we have countries like Senegal, like Togo, like Rwanda that have done pretty well. But I think just from the numbers, it's encouraging, and all of these countries want to do this. That's the interesting thing.
The new paradigm shift is within the U.S., where services from different government agencies are now coordinated through Ambassador Patricia Haslach. She says to get aid, African countries need to have a plan.
I think the most important thing is that they need to have a robust country investment plan. And it's not just a plan that stops at having the plan. And the components of the plan that were outlined today involve country consultations with the stakeholders, involve a whole-of-government approach on the country's part, involve a commitment by the countries to contribute a percentage of their budgets to agriculture. There needs to be a focus on nutrition. There are a number of different things that they need to do.
More information on funding for food security can be found at the websites for the World Bank and Feed the Future. Carolyn Turner, VOA News.